I always just like to bullshit around just for a little bit. But for this one, I had a nice little intro because I've been trying to get him on the pod for a little while, and he's been eluding me. But I would like to welcome social media creator extraordinaire, dance king, Meg Thee Stallion's twerk partner, and someone that I'm very happy to be able to call a friend, Mr. Markel Washington.
Hello, guys. How are y'all? Thank you so much for having me on the pod. I'm very excited. Actually was at a dance class today, and I was just sharpening up the skills.
Okay. What type of dance class?
It was hip-hop class. It was Kelly Sweeney.
Oh, she's really fucking good at dance.
Yeah, she's literally next level.
So we're going to dive into it before then, but this podcast will come out after what we're doing tomorrow. Are we allowed to talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So she's in the movie with you.
Yep.
Which I also heard, which is fucking sick.
Yeah.
And you're going to be in a movie. I was going to save this for a different portion of the podcast, but you're going to be in a movie.
I am, and it's so crazy to see, like, I'm going to have all my friends there. It's just to see you on a big screen, and it's like Amazon or Prime Video picked up the movie and stuff like that. So it's just, like, crazy to think, like, bitch, I'm doing it. Like,
does that ever get old? Like, where you're at right now, obviously you've been since 2020?
Yeah.
I want to say. So, like, you've been doing this shit for 3 years now, about to be going on 4. You've done a lot of crazy shit. Obviously, like I mentioned in the intro, he's out here twerking with Meg Thee Stallion on a regular basis at this point. Does this shit do you get used to it at all? Or is this still like a pinch me?
It's still a pinch me. I feel like I'm living in a fever dream. Like, as we are filming this podcast right now, we're in my new house. Like, I live here by myself fully. Like,
let me just say, when I walked in to this place, Markel had a house a little while ago, and he was moving out, and he's like, oh, I'm moving into a new place. So I knew he was moving. And I get here, and I walk in the door, and I'm just like, fuck, this 4 floors. 4. Usually people just have 1. He's got 4. And it's so crazy. It's so new. You have, like, beautiful-ass den up there, but there's a balcony overlooking the other living room. And it's, like, it's crazy. This place is actually insane.
Thank you so much. And it's so hard to, like, wrap my... Excuse me.
We're doing a podcast, Motorcycles Down.
Thank you.
Nice.
They on damn Fast and Furious. But it's crazy to think, like, new house, new movie, new dog that I barely like. I'm like Milo. He's actually on the 2nd floor right now. He doesn't know how to come up the stairs. And
literally this big.
I actually don't want to take the time to teach him because these stairs are so dangerous. I almost wiped out the other day, actually. I was carrying all, like, so much stuff up here. And then the last thing I was carrying was glass. Now, mind you, I had so many trips and stuff like that. And the last thing I was carrying was glass. And then that American slide slipper, that flag slipper that Milo's sleeping on, it got caught in between the stair and it took me out. Well, it almost did, but my reflexes, I got cat-like reflexes. And
Light flex.
Right. And then I, tried to catch myself so it wouldn't fall.
See, because, like, a lot of people I know, like, I always see people tweet about these types of stairs. People get scared with it. I don't ever get scared that, like, there's holes through or, like, there's, like, ledges through them. I just get scared of the slippiness. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Slipperiness.
Slippery slope.
I get scared about the slippery slope because I be falling.
No, 100%. And funny enough, I gracefully thank the Lord I have not fallen yet. I'm quite sure. Yeah. Well, no, I'm not going to speak that because, child, I have my back set up. I'm going to just sleep it off.
And he needs that arch for some shit, so.
Whoa. Bye-bye.
Boom.
But, no, yeah, how my back set up, I'm just going to sleep it off because I ain't trying to get no damn insurance check and all of that stuff like that. And then they tell me, sir, you have to pay $10,000 for an extra. You know what? I think it's fine. I just can't breathe for a second, but who needs to breathe anyway?
We're good. And, again, after what's happening very soon, you can't get hurt because you got casting call, you got shit you got to go to.
I'm a movie star. Like, what can I say? I'm like basically.
And we'll dive into that more because I definitely want to hear more about it. But for people that might be watching, I have known Markel for a little while, and how I got to meet this beautiful soul of a man was kind of crazy. And it was during the TikTok YouTube fight in 2020. 2020.
Yep.
Down in Miami, Florida. Bryce Hall, Austin McBroom, Vinny Hacker. That's when Vinny Hacker. 2021. Vinny Hacker stole the fucking show, by the way.
Period.
Like, in terms of like not just the fight, like he became a sex symbol for like that next year.
He's a king. I love Vinny.
Dude's still very handsome, but I just meant that year, 2021, was like his shit. And so I got to meet Markel down there, and Markel is someone that I've met here, and I said the same thing to J-Rod when he was on the podcast last week. That there's only been a few people I've met before that like don't have that persona about themselves. Because don't get me wrong, like I'm very real. I'm from New York, very realistic about shit.
Period.
If you got millions of dollars, however much money, you got fame, all this type of shit, I very well can understand if someone is gonna. I don't fuck with it. I don't like it, but I'm very realistic to the point where people have egos about themselves. Markel was not one of those people. I was there working, and the people I was working with were busy, so I was like alone half the time. Markel, at one instance, invited me over to his table, and that was, I don't know if both Mian or Mian. Mian. Okay, I always say Mian. Sorry, girls. Both Mian sisters were there, and I forget who else you were sitting with at the time, but invited me over. We chilled out, and then like saw you throughout the rest of that weekend and shit like that. And Markel, this other person that I went down there to work with, was like, oh yeah, I got Markel's number. And I was like, oh, that's dope. So I went up to Markel, low key, like if we're being, he wanted me, and it's okay. Like he really wanted me. And I love it, right? Like I was so flattered. I
knew this part of the story was coming.
Yeah, and it was, and because it was a great feeling for me. He wanted me, and I was just like, no, it's fucking awesome.
Okay,
like,
you didn't have to say it again.
No, it's okay. He just, shout out Emma. I love you so much. But obviously,
count your blessings, bitch.
Markel gave me his real number, and obviously, like 6-8 months went by. I ended up coming out here to work for Josh and Bryce, and I remember this vividly.
Wait, quick backstory. When he said my real number, is because the guy that previously told him that he got my number, I have a business number and my personal cell line. And my business number basically is not even just for business. It's more so people that I don't want like able to just contact me on a reg like that, you know what I'm saying? So I gave Casey my real number, but continue. You came
it's almost kind of like an email in a way.
Yeah.
Like that type
it's
of
just like it's just like an email number type vibe.
And so I remember vividly, I was probably 4 months into working here, and I was on Rodeo Drive. No, I wasn't shopping. Can't afford shit there.
Come on, window shopper.
Yeah, come on. I was window shopping like crazy. And so we were there, and I was like, you know what? Like, I have Markel's number. I'm not a shy person. Like, I'm always going to just call, talk, whatever. So I was like, let me FaceTime Markel. He picked up, and it wasn't one of those where I was like, yo, what are you doing right now? Let's hang out. But it was one of those like, oh, I just want to like, I'm here. I want to make that connection, everything. And ever since then, it was like just kept going on.
Better.
And I didn't tell the podcast for a long time who I worked for because I just didn't know the vibe of it now. Now they don't give a shit. When I started working with the D'Amelios, obviously you have a very close connection with them. So then it came full circle.
But how did that come about? Because I remember you telling me like
story.
Yeah, I remember you telling me, and y'all, this boy and his manifesting is insane. Because I literally think he told me that he was gonna be in LA when we first initially met, and then when it actually came to fruition, he texted me when he got there, and he was like, yeah, let's hang out. And I was like, okay, let's hang out. And he was like, no, yeah, I'm here by myself right now, but my girlfriend. Pause. You're who? He ghosted his ass.
He did.
I did.
Like,
I
you're
did.
taken? What the fuck? And I was like, yeah, like my baby girl, Emma, I love you.
Well,
but that was the man that was crazy. So I was out here working for Josh and Bryce for a year for their energy drink, Annie Energy. Wish it would come back one day. Never going to, ever. But be cool. Anyways, that stopped, and I was out of work for like 2 months. And I was getting to that point where like I lied to Emma like 10 times. Where like I was like, oh, we're good. I'm good on money. Because like I wanted to stay here. Mm-hmm. And mind you, like I had enough for literally another month's rent tops before. Because I said this before, and not in a rude way. I didn't come out here to work at Best Buy. Not that there's shit. I used to be a pizza delivery driver. Nothing wrong with those jobs, but like I would just move home and work that job. That's not what I came out here for.
Right.
So Brianna Hernandez told me like, oh, Noah Beck needs an assistant. And I was like, you know what? At this point, I'm just trying to get in with whoever I can.
Yeah.
So I messaged Heidi D'Amelio. Shout out Heidi.
Come on, Heidi. That's my best
Heidi.
friend.
She had been following me for a little while, and I messaged her at the time, and I was like, which in hindsight, obviously, stuff, but I was like, hey, like, I know you guys know, at the time, I was like, I know you guys know him. Can you say anything on my behalf if he needs an assist or whatever? And she just messaged me back being like, no, we are looking to hire, like, we would love to have a meeting with you. And then the rest is history.
I love that.
Crazy.
And could you like it was led for you to go, that route, because imagine you didn't message Heidi and then you just would have messaged Noah, and I'm quite sure he would have seen it, but it just, God forbid, he didn't, and then it just got lost in the stack of DMs, like.
And nothing would have happened, or if like I never messaged anybody and I kind of just took that. I wouldn't say defeat because I don't want to make it sound so negative, but I just took that like vibe of.
Hold on, pause.
You're good. Pause. I want to make sure that like this is nice and I'm not moving too slow. I think I'm moving good, right? Yeah. I don't want to make sure it's not too. Oh yeah, he had to get the snacks. You know what my favorite part about this podcast is too?
What's that?
Don't get me wrong, like talking points I do, but points like this, I don't cut shit.
No, period. No.
Don't get me wrong, talking points, yes. If someone comes on, because I've had, and people don't want to, obviously I'm not that type of person, but fun shit like this, I'm like.
Would you like a mic tonight?
I would love a mic tonight. I'm a big red guy. Oh, I picked you.
Funny enough, I don't like red. I like green and pink.
Pink I get. Mm-hmm. I've never been a green person. I've never been an orange flavored anything except for the literal fruit orange. That's it.
Yeah, I don't like orange too much. Wait, can I give him a little bit of ASMR?
Do a little bit. I love how it's picking it up too. This is the ASMR version of the podcast. Any guys who are interested in Markel, watch this clip of him eating Mike and Ike's. That part. But no, so that's just kind of like how it happened, and then now we're fucking here with like. I was always on that vibe of like because again, like I started out getting hired by Josh and Bryce due to making content. I always wanted to make content like this type. I love podcasts. Like certain types isn't my style, and
right.
I'm never a judger of what type of content people make.
Uh-huh.
But podcasts, because I love talking, I love all that type of shit. So like that's always just been my vibe.
Right.
So for the longest time with them, I was just like I don't want to be that person that like you look at like, oh, you're just working with this person to like, because it's never that. But then after a little while, like they encourage the fuck out of it. They're just like, do your shit, and I'm like, bet. So that's where we're here. But more importantly, because fuck me, you guys will learn that over time. I like to know about my guests here, and there's actually other stuff that I haven't asked you. I know the basics of it, but I've never asked you it before. But coming from Georgia, if you guys didn't know, so I am a big, people talk shit about it. I'm a huge fan of Subway. I'm actually going for sure my midnight snack tonight. Thank God it's open.
Can we go after the pod?
Is going to be, I'd be down.
I'm down.
It's my late night snack is always a foot long. I know it's boring. Foot long meatball sub. Their meatball subs are fucking tremendous. But anywho, coming from Georgia, working at Subway, I want to know, and I know like not to be so broad, what got you on TikTok? What, like, obviously you've always, because you did competitive cheer, like you've had that dancer / technique shit in you, but what got you to be like, okay, I'm downloading TikTok? And then what was the moment that you were like, shit, this is a thing?
Great question. Funny enough, and side note, do you know our meatballs are already pre-made? We just kind of warm them up and put them in the sauce.
It's kind of fun. That doesn't change a thing. I'm white trash.
You know what? I mean,
doesn't change a thing for me.
They still are good.
So good.
And our broccoli cheddar soup.
Never had
it's
it.
bringing memories back.
See,
but
shout out Subway.
No, literally, shout out Subway. I literally loved working for them. I tried to go in and do a shift when I went back home on one of my breaks. They wouldn't let me. That'd be so cool because that's kind of like one of those like a cool. Yeah, I'm like, let me go back and freaking work.
Especially
I wish I would have had a photo of my outfit but I had like a little visor and stuff.
If we find it, I'm gonna input it.
Right. Funny enough, I just would Oh, I actually no. Wait, hold on. I sent a photo to my friend Michael the other day.
Sandzone.
Shout
out Michael. Good dude.
His name on my phone is Michael Beach Guy.
Oh,
because he's tan. He's tan.
That's what happens when you just have the world at your fingertips. You have contacts like Beach Guy. I'm not just
there you go. There you go.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna need that screenshot and send it to me. Absolutely.
That is wild. My little name clip.
And you keep going. I want to make sure that.
Okay, but I worked there and it was crazy. But it was like I always knew I wanted to be an entertainer, but didn't know like how I would get in the space or how it would like come to fruition and stuff like that. And I was like, that's where the cheer aspect came from. But funny enough, I wasn't always as outgoing and open as I am now. Like,
really?
Yeah, probably my junior year in high school, cheer is what brought that portion out. Like when my dad passed away, my mom went to jail, like I was so closed off and I was looking for that family oriented space and cheer had that atmosphere.
It's a family, 100%.
Yeah, they literally, they raised money for a moped for me to get to practice. They had me a Harley Davidson moped.
Wait, that's bad. You were a moped dude? Because one of my best friends.
I had a little turtle helmet.
One of my best friends in Denver has a moped, and I think it's fucking sick.
No, yeah, but mine went like 90. It was like a moped motorcycle type vibe.
A Harley moped.
No, yeah, it was like a 150cc or something like that. It was like nice.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they raised money for me to get to and from practice. Gave me a scholarship to cheer, and like it was just the best thing ever. And it was like all of those people there just was so like captivating. I remember everybody, so it's just so cool to come back and see. But I was working at Subway, and then I would I would sing and dance back then, and while I was making a sub, and for y'all bitches who get every
long turkey,
right, everybody who got all those vegetables, fuck you, because they don't know how hard it is to close that sub with all the veggies on it. And the proper way to make a sub, you go circles first and then lettuce and spinach.
Okay.
Everybody would usually think you would go spinach, lettuce, cucumbers, tomatoes. No, because the cucumbers and tomatoes are going to slide off. You would go cucumbers, tomatoes, lettuce, spinach, and then everything else.
I did not know my mind's blown. I did not know there was a method.
Yeah, because then when I try to stuff everything in a sub and then close it, the tomato and cucumbers slide right off because you can't just fold that in half. But if you lay it on first, it's laying flat. And then
we're listening to Genius right now.
Hello, I'm a sub connoisseur. I still remember. I still know how to make the spicy Italian. I know all the toppings, all the breads, the cookies. Yeah. So I would do that, and then when they ordered every vegetable, I would sing and dance, and they would go from interrogating the sandwich, like making sure I made it right, and they were like, "Wait, you're actually doing so good." And they were like this, and I would start singing, and then they would look up and was like, wow, you're so talented. And when they would look up, I would literally just start balling the paper up in the sub. I didn't even try to close it. I would just
you can fucking have it.
Exactly.
There you go. I don't give a shit.
And then they always was just so happy and gave great feedback. So then from there, my boss's wife was like, "You got really good customer service. Do you want to come work at my boutique? And I'll pay you $10 an hour." At this point, I was like, "Oh, bitch, I'm about to be rich."
Yep.
Because at Subway, I was making $7.50 an hour.
I remember those days.
Period. $7.50 an hour. And then I worked at the boutique, and I was making $10 an hour. I said, "Oh, I'm about to be rich." But funny enough, little did I know I was going to work 9 to 2 or 2 to 7. I was only having 5-hour shifts. So I made $800 a month. I made $200 a week.
That's not even his grocery bill right now.
Hello, right. $200 a week, and I was still able to make it work. That's why these people who be acting like they so like down in something, if you be consistent, you know the difference from your wants and your needs, you'll be able to survive. Mm-hmm. And I was able to pay my rent, my car insurance, my phone bill, and have money to still go out and eat when I wanted to.
That part.
I'm like,
now.
weeks at a time, I would be like, okay, let me set this aside. I don't need to use this now. I want to buy this, but I don't need it. So I was working there, and then I started making videos there, and they were like, "Dude, you're so hilarious. Why don't you just get on TikTok?" Some kids came in and said that. And I was like, y'all, I don't really know. Because at the time, I was just focusing on like being an adult, like young adult coming out of high school. Like, I need to get this going. And I was like just trying to make money, make ends meet. So
and
I
you had
started,
to provide for yourself too.
Exactly.
This wasn't, you didn't come from mommy and daddy's money.
Yeah, no,
like,
not at all. And I had to just start making the money and making it do what it do. And popping that little, ooh, I'm just kidding. But
you was starting it up out there in Georgia.
Right. So I started posting. I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. My first video was posted June 19th of 2020. I mean, 2019, but that was like, it was just like,
that was before the craze.
Yeah, it was literally, I posted that and never posted again. I did a standing full. It was a flip because I did cheer.
Light work.
Yeah. And then I don't think it did good, so I never went back to it. Fast forward to like 2019, two of my cheer buddies was like, hey, Markel, do you want to be our videographer? We'll bring you to Myrtle Beach Safari. And I said, yeah, of course. And then it was like they just added me as a videographer so I can get the experience for free. Because that experience, that little safari thing, especially what they were doing was like $5,000. And I was like,
shit's expensive. Cheer is not cheap. Those tournaments and shit like that cost money.
Right. So we went to a safari to go play with tigers and an elephant. And we did that. And the guy asked me, hey, do you want to make a video with a cheetah? And I was like, I mean, I don't have any followers. The one dude with the ponytail? Yeah. And I was like, I don't have any followers. He was like, I don't give a damn. Just make a video. And I was like, okay. So I made a dance video. And at the time, I wasn't even able to dance that good. I was just like,
you were.
Yeah, literally. And after that video, I think I was at like 30K. And after that, or like 15 or something like that.
Still on like the micro.
Yeah,
level.
micro stages. And or mini micro at that point. And then the video had posted. I posted it at nighttime. Woke up the next day, 25 million views. I jumped to 500,000 followers overnight.
Oh, so you had to jump like that?
Yeah.
I see. I didn't know that.
500K.
I didn't know that. I thought it was like, I mean, it was gradual at first, like you said, to the 30K, et cetera. I did not know that went from 30. Like, I did not know
30 to 500K. Yep.
That's crazy.
And then I hit that October like 14th or something like that. And then I hit 700K November 20th.
Okay.
I hit 900K like December 9th.
I love that he knows the dates. That's humble shit.
So then at this point, I was like, OMG, I'm about to hit 1 million going into the new year. I got banned for 2 weeks in December of 2019.
For what?
I don't even remember.
Popping shit too much.
Period. That part, I was probably popping
shit too much.
And I got banned for 2 weeks. And I was like, there's no way. And then after you get banned, you kind of shadow ban your views kind of. So I'm like, OMG, no, this is not a thing.
And then the nerves come because you're like, I don't want to get real banned. I made it this far.
Exactly. So then the 2 weeks are up, and then it's like December 26th or something like that. And then I got up to like 938,000. And I'm like, OMG. Like, I can hit this before or on New Year's. I get to like 980 December 30th. I'm like, okay, 20K. Here we go. Stagnant. Going into the new year, stagnant. Right, stab in the heart. December 4th, I had hit my million. My first ever million on TikTok. And December 7th, I got verified on TikTok.
Oh, so it was like right after a million,
3
basically.
days after I hit a million. I had got verified.
And then we're at 10 million right now.
Yeah, 10
and by we're, I mean Markel's at 10 million right now. Thank you very much. That double digit.
Yeah, that was crazy. And now, funny enough, Heidi was the reason I moved out here.
Was she really?
Yep.
Shout out Heidi D'Amelio.
Hello.
Again.
She was one persistent bitch. I literally came out here for a flipping event, and then Jordan Matter had access to shoot photos of us flipping, and I said yes. And then he we followed each other, and I just watched his stuff. And he said he was shooting a video with the Hype House the next day.
Fire.
On the pier. And I was supposed to fly home the next day. And I was like, message him, was like, why didn't you ask me to come and help you out? I know all the TikTok dances, LOL. Just kidding, sweat, laughing emoji. And then he was like, you know what, Markel, that's actually a great idea. Why don't you come be my assistant? And I was like, wait, actually? Yeah, why not? So then at that point, I booked my flight and changed the dates or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm making this happen. And then I got the chance to meet Charlie, Heidi, and everybody. And as I was his assistant, me and Heidi sat back and just talked, watched, clowned on them because they looked funny at the time and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, big head help.
Just shoot.
Right, literally.
Shooting the shit out here.
Yeah, and me and Heidi was like, wait, where are you from? I said, Georgia. And she said, I feel like I've known you a lifetime. I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, I feel like I know you personally too. And she was like, so are you moving out here? I was like, no. And she was like, whatever you need to do, you need to get out here. LA is for you. You don't need to be in a small town like Georgia. And I was like, wow. But everybody in Georgia is so small, closed-minded.
Yeah.
And they're like, nope, you need to go to college. You need to do this. You need to do that. And they're like, that social media not going to take you anywhere. You need to go the traditional route and get your degree, and then you can try to pursue that. And I'm like, y'all, school was not my forte. I wanted to do social media. And
they just people, they don't understand that.
No, yeah, they so stuck in their ways, and they're like, all right, when you fail at shit, don't come back and try to tell me I didn't. It's
like a spiteful thing almost. And it's like, yo, I'm just trying to do some shit.
Hello, and at that point, I knew I was gonna make it my mission to prove them wrong. Oh, bitch, I'm gonna make it. So, I came out here and then grinded, got in the compound, served there, then moved with Noah and Blake.
Served is right, bro. Served there. Thank you.
Served there, moved with Noah and Blake, loved it there, and then just got done with my lease with Nate, and now I'm here by myself.
You lived with Noah and Blake?
Yeah.
I know. What house was that at?
Sherman Oaks.
I don't know why I never. Oh, I did remember that. Yep. Okay. That was short lived.
Noah, Blake, and Vinny. Not Hacker, but Vinny moved.
Yeah, that was because I remember that house for a little bit. It wasn't because I remember the compound was, maybe it was just because of how
big it was.
Big, and just like it had like a lot of the members and stuff. So it was like, it was something that always popped up on mine. But for some reason, I feel like you lived it with Noah and Blake for the whole year.
Yeah, it went by so fast.
I know, that did not seem like that was a year.
Blink of an eye, Jose, we're not. I was like, whoa, wait, please, no, more.
So how much of a shell shock? Because like coming from someone who like I only see it again, like obviously when I house sit for the fam, any shit like that, it's crazy to me. Like how much of a shell shock was it from, like you said, $200 a week to, my guess is at the compound of Noah and Blake, there was cleaning ladies, there was shit like how much of like a what the fuck moment? Like,
funny enough, it was very. I had some of those moments because when the cleaning ladies would come, my natural instinct was to help them.
Yeah.
And like fix up, and they're like, no. We got it. And I'm like, are you sure? I don't mind. They're like, no, this is what we get paid to do. And I'm like, okay. And I would still try to go behind their back and help them pick up around the house. Because at the time, most of them hoes was junky.
Yeah.
And they would love to leave food everywhere.
Typical frat bros.
Yeah.
Frat bros.
Frat bros.
Honestly.
Not knowing Blake compound.
Yeah, okay.
And then, so when we had maids and stuff like that, it just was like, wow, this is real. Like, people do this. And it was like, people live this lifestyle. And, I was just completely mind blown at that point. And, no,
that shit's crazy. Like, it's when I see that stuff still now, like I've obviously come to now realize like that, like you said, it's their job. Like that's what they do. Like, and it's not like, don't get me wrong. Like they don't want you sitting here just like tossing your shit on the ground in front of them, but they're just like, hey, like this is what we're, we like it. Shout out Blanca. And because they're just like, this is our shit. But like same where sometimes when I've house sat or anything like that, I'm just like, I can't, like, again, like I was someone who, shout out mom, that, I always helped her clean, like so I was just accustomed to that. So it's kind of crazy that seeing that that's just like the lifestyle out here. And this, in a little deep sense, just because like I always like, because being from New York, I'm not from New York City. I'm not from like some big, I'm from like a smaller town and shit like that. So I get that small town vibes. Specifically in Georgia, what was it like? Like, obviously, again, we're not back in the 60s and shit like that, but was it tough being there, being black and gay?
Yes, 100%. But funny enough, sorry,
those Mike and Ike's hitting.
Right. Funny enough, after my parents passed away and went to jail, I didn't care what anybody else thought, because at the end of the day, I was going to live my authentic self and be my authentic self.
As you should.
And never have to worry about a bitch what they say, because they going to say behind my back, but they never would say it to my face.
Ever. That's how it always is.
Right. So I was always open-minded and knew I wanted more. I'm like, this small town shit is not for me. Now, mind you, I do miss my hometown, and I
Same.
love the southern food.
Yep. Oh.
That I'm like, you cannot beat it. And yeah, so it's just always was be Markel, and at the end of the day, if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
Nobody care.
No, because like again, coming from a small town, I was kind of under that same where, you know, in my hometown, it was like really like to get rich or like to do really well, you were either did really well in construction, you were real estate, you were maybe an accountant, stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, like
in the medical field.
Medical field, like if I were to get rich today, like, and someone was like, yo, here's $10 million, I'm moving back to my hometown tomorrow. Like, I love it more than anything in the world.
That's
and
what
stuff.
I want to do.
But I get that fact of just like, you know, and again, I was very grateful that my parents don't know shit about social media. I honestly gave them a 2-week notice from literally like being in our apartment to being like, hey, like we came up with this. It's what we're doing. Like Emma and I, like we're moving to Los Angeles and I'm doing this. And they had no idea what it was, but like they're kind of.
Are they supportive?
Insanely. And like it's cool because again, them not knowing anything about this world, it's so much cooler to them where like they'll see an Instagram post and they'll be like, oh my God. Like to us, obviously, it's just like, it's an Instagram post. What? But they'll be like, that Instagram post is so cool. And it's just like cool to like see their excitement for it. And I love that they love that. And just that I resonate 100% with like being from that small town. And like, it's good because you shouldn't, not that you do, and I'm glad that you don't, like give a fuck about, especially somewhere like in LA, but being back home because like, it's just crazy that there still are like those, and I'm sure being from Georgia, I'm sure you've passed it, but like those sundown towns, like those crazy things where like the fact that certain people still live in like the 50s is like crazy to me. So that was, I don't think I ever asked you that. I think one time I asked you about like when you were coming out, all that type of shit, but I never asked you like that. Cause again, I know we've came far as a society, but the South obviously A, has a history, but B, with the shit from being black, but then also being gay. I've never asked you your actual perspective, what that was like coming up. So it's cool that like you didn't give a fuck. You're like, I don't give a shit.
No fucks given.
Like shit's already happened to me, so cool. You want to come at me? Great.
Right.
Awesome.
Because bitch, you come at me, I'm gonna come harder.
And that's gonna motivate me more so that when I come back and I am rich, thank you.
No, and that happened.
What?
That happened.
Literally, you went back rich. Thank you very much. And you were just like, now what?
Right.
And I guarantee you some of the people that were shitting on you, and if they ever did, don't know.
No. They 100% were shitting on me.
And they're still.
And they I know one guy specifically, don't want to name drop his ass, but specifically went to UGA, did a 4-year, got his degree, went back home and still started working at a restaurant. He used to bully me in school, and not really bully me, verbally bully me, because you put your hands on me, it's up and stuff.
Don't act like Markel's not about it.
Hello, about it. Don't like to be about it, but I can. No, if you put wide,
boom.
And he used to just verbally call me the N-word and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, do you think that's gonna make you any like better? Like you thought you ate? No. And I was just annoyed because I knew if I fought him, I would be the one getting the most trouble. Yep. Expelled, suspended, or something. That feel words can only hurt you if you allow them to.
Well, and that's the crazy part about like what it is, where it's like you could sit there and have someone call you the N-word, all this type of crazy shit. You put hands on them. They only saw you put hands on them.
Exactly.
They didn't hear, and God forbid if they did hear, they're like, oh, well, that's hearsay. Like that's we don't know if that actually happened. We didn't catch it on camera. Any of that shit. It's just like, Markel, you're in the wrong because you put your hands on him. Then it's like, the fuck?
Right.
Huh?
And then he was doing that. Fast forward to now, he graduated college, went back to the hometown and working in a restaurant. I go back to the hometown. The restaurant owner's trying to get me and my friends to eat there.
Yup. He's sick.
Trying to pay for our food, everything like that. No, Marco, come on. I go to the restaurant not knowing he's working there. The owner's like, meet your server. I said, hi.
You remember me?
Take care, right. The owner said, make sure you take care of them. But I killed him with kindness. He took our service and everything like that. The owner comped all our food. And I still left him a $200 tip and just got up and walked out.
And that shows your personality where it's just like, and I know it's a lot of people might see it as corny, but just like, trust me, that really does like that hurts someone so much more than if you went back and flaunted shit in their face. That's going to have them continuing to be angry for technically the same reason they were angry before. Goddamn Markel, but now you go back, kill him with kindness. He's angry at himself now, opposed to still being angry at you, which hurts even worse. So I definitely, and my thing was too, like where I grew up, it's like I grew up with a ton of people that, did leave and came back to the hometown to, whether it was to, that's fine. You can do, but like if you're one of those people that, made someone's life a living hell, or my biggest pet peeve ever, because I'm very like territorial and like love my hometown. I know I just said that, but there's so many people that left my hometown like, fuck that place, there's nothing there, blah, blah, blah. And then they would come back, and that's when I'd be like, when I'm like, go and experience, because again, like LA, me and LA, like, who knows? Shit might not work out. Like, I'm gonna make shit work, but God forbid things happen. And like, I've always been someone where it's like, why are you shitting on the place that like you grew up? Don't get me wrong. There are people out there that have grown up places and those places have done horrors to people. And I understand that. This is only very situational, but like, why are you shitting on a place that like made you? And then now you're going back and looking like a fool that like, you're like, oh, well, I'm back. It's just like, well, why shit on it in the first place? Like, just, you can say, oh, I want bigger and better. You don't have to be like, fuck this place also.
Right. And I'm like, that's the good saying of don't bite the hand that feeds you. Because what the hell you shitting on your hometown for, and then you're going to have to go back. Yeah. If just well as this holidays, visiting family, like, stay humble. I feel like humility is going to take you further than that gloat and shit like that. The only time I will ever be cocky is on the bitch that they tries to shit on me or shit on my life. I'm like, then it's time to be like, hey, bitch. Like, listen up.
I'm back.
Hello, right.
Type shit.
It's up and stuck.
Now, because I'm going to ask Mark when I have him on, because I don't know why this is like, because again, someone who's never experienced it, like, it's so fucking fascinating to me. And obviously, you still have a long way to go, like, because you're going to accomplish so much shit, i.e., like, what we're doing tomorrow night. Like, you're just at the start of but where you're at now, did you have that moment where you had to sit back really quick and be like, oh shit, like everything's about to change? Like one of those like, oh, I'm not like Georgia Markel that was doing this, that, and the third. Like, not that you're leaving him behind, like, because you're still him, but just one of those like, oh, life's about to change.
That's a good question, honestly.
It's a hard question, I know, but
right. But I never knew, like, I guess when I moved to LA, that was going to be my life's about to change moment. And I felt like it was going to be successful, but I didn't know for sure. Yeah. But that's where the faith came in. I was like, you know what? Life's going to change. And I spoke it into existence because life and death lies in the power of the tongue. Speak things as not as though they were. And I really live by that. And that's why I'm like, with your manifesting and just speaking things into fruition, because it's a real thing. I feel like some people just say, okay, manifesting is a bluff, but I feel like if you speak it, say it, and believe it, you have to, what is it? The saying is, you have to speak it to believe it and believe it to achieve it.
Respect.
Right.
100% agree.
And I'm like, people say it all day long, but they don't even believe what they're saying. They're like, I'm going to be successful. And they just say it because somebody done told them, put it in the air. But if you like words say coming it with some type of meaning behind, I'm going to be successful. And know you truly mean it, there's no doubt in my mind that you won't be.
No, and I will say I'm 100%. And don't get me wrong, it's not like, to your point, like you can't just throw it out there like, I'm gonna make $1 million tomorrow and have no action behind it. But like after this last 2 years of being out here, I've definitely like 100%. And I definitely find myself, and Emma always gets mad at me for it, where like I always accredit it 100%. It's like, oh no, I was lucky. And a lot of people are just like, no, you've done shit to get here.
Hello, you've done your fair share.
On top of the manifestation, but manifesting as a whole, I'm like a 100% believer on. And I guess that'll bring me to, we talked about it earlier really quick, but, and I know for a fact in your head, I've never heard you say it out loud, but in your head, I know for a fact you've manifested it. And I just want to go back to it. You're in a fucking movie. I want to know because I actually don't like. I know obviously I'm so pissed that it's not. It's Bring It
On.
But it's what's the
Netflix show? Cheer.
No, what's the movie? Because you didn't tell
Step
me.
Aside.
Step Aside because that it wasn't Bring It Up. It was Step It Up that I was thinking of, but it's Step Aside. So the movie's called Step Aside. Let me know a little about it.
So it's a parody of Dance Moms, and
that's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah, they're kind of not making fun of it, but just showcasing everything that goes behind it, and making a little bit of fun of it.
As you should.
And funny enough, I'm not dancing in the movie. I'm actually a host, like the MC of the talent show, because it's like how the big teams always go head to head.
Yep.
And that's the part that we've honed in on and focused on. And then the team that usually wins won, I believe. And then we found out, no, the team that usually doesn't win won. And then we found out they use enhancement drugs like steroids to make them dance and perform better.
Heard it.
So then the two coaches started fighting, and then I had to break it apart. And I was like, guys, knock it off. Here in the rule book, this says that in the third, so you are disqualified.
I love your white boys.
Yeah, right. Here you. The winner of the coveted golden toe. That's my little actor voice.
Oh my god, I can't. Is that what it's called in the movie too?
Yeah, the coveted golden toe.
The coveted golden toe.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Literally, and it's so funny. And I'm like, you'll see.
Oh, I can't. And like I said, I'm like over the moon because I've never been to a premiere on top of someone that I'm friends with being in the it's gonna be crazy.
Period, Bob.
So like what, like yeah, and just like being on like because again like you've been on set for things obviously from like maybe a big YouTube video shoot or you did a photo shoot, whatever it may be. You were on a fucking set, and this is Amazon Prime, right?
Yep, I have my own trailer.
So Amazon Prime, if Step Aside, you better fucking watch that shit when it comes out. I'm telling you,
please do.
I'm gonna be mad, and this is gonna be. I'm posting this 100 times.
Clip it. I'll make sure to post on TikTok and all of that other stuff, but.
I'm gonna post it on my OnlyFans
like basically
too.
a descendant of Denzel's throne, Denzel Washington, of course.
That's him. Thank you very much. So
right.
I think that's so fucking cool that you're actually so it's you. Would anyone else out? Because I know Kelly, and then anyone else that I would know, or is it just more kind of just like just a ton like a random cast?
It's Presley from Dance Moms.
Okay.
The boy Amari, he's one of Lil Nas backup dancers.
Fire.
Most phenomenal dancer I've ever seen, to be honest.
I have such a funny Lil Nas story.
Yeah, and then the head, the lead girl coach, their group is called Susie Saddler Sack.
Love it. Because there was Candy Apples and then Abby Lee's. So obviously you have the funny names and shit. So love that.
And they she's been in so many movies and shows. She's like she got her IMDb.
I feel like just
stacked.
off of that, I'll probably know who she is. Like when I see her at first. So that's gonna be fucking sick. That I can't wait. Again, it's my first time ever going to something and seeing you on the big screen is gonna be cool. Mixed with other celebrities. Now, I want to ask you because I've met my fair share, and I did say it on this podcast one time, but then I was closely affiliated with the world that I'm currently in with who it was, so I had to bleep it out. And I don't you don't have to say it obviously because it does better with me on editing, but just like an example, have you met certain celebrities that in your head you were like fuck yeah, that when after the scenario you met them you were just like oh, and I don't mean like oh you're doing bad, but like you are not like nice or anything I thought you were gonna be?
Yes. Sweetie wasn't that nice.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I can get it. Not like I can get it because kind of and don't get me wrong, this podcast knows I love the female rap category, but female rappers definitely have that like energy where it's like they could really give you that like bitch fuck out of here.
Right, but everybody else I met was very nice. Anita, Doechii, Megan Thee Stallion, Coi Leray. Coi is one of my favorite people.
Heard a lot of good things about Coi.
But I don't know if it was just the
just the aura of everything.
No, the not atmosphere, the situation at hand, or like the event that we were in. She had just got done performing at the this was at the Triller fight when Jake fought in Atlanta.
Okay, cool.
I was supposed to collaborate with her here in Beverly Hills. Her digital team reached out to me, so that's what kind of made it like weird because her team reached out and asked me to collab, and I drove to Beverly Hills. And they were like, can we push it back an hour? And I was like, yes, of course, because I was excited to meet her. I'm like, love Sweetie down. She's so talented. And I love her music. So then they were like, actually, can we just reschedule because she got to fly to Atlanta? And I was like, damn, I just drove all the way to Beverly Hills. And
that's just not close.
Right. And this was when I was living in Calabasas.
Oh, gee, yeah, not close.
Yeah. So then I saw her at the fight, and I was like, OMG, hi, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Markel Washington. Your digital team reached out to me, and I was name dropping her digital team, and like said like 2 or 3 names that like are head of digital.
Yeah.
And I was like, they wanted us to collab. Well, I'm the one you were supposed to collab with a couple of days ago in Beverly Hills, and she was like, I don't know anything about that, but hey.
Yeah, now that those types of interactions I don't like. When it's like you could at least like be like, oh, sit. Like even if she didn't care, you could have been like, oh, sit, cool, like talk to you about it later. Even if she wasn't going to talk to you about it later,
right? Like just play it up because I'm like that one interaction. You know, your first interaction means everything to people, and it just left a stamp on me that just I've seen her countless of times now, and she's been sweeter. I just saw Anita's after her after party for the VMAs, and her manager brought me up to her to meet her. Her damn security guard throat chopped me and was like, hey, back up, we don't know you. And then the manager was like, he's good. And I'm like, you saw me just walk over here with him. And then she gave me a hug and was like, hi, nice to see you, this, that, and the third. And
it's like,
yeah, it was
nice
so that made it way better. But that initial first reaction, I was like, dang, like,
yeah, that's off-putting as fuck. Like,
yeah,
I can't name who it is just because I'll definitely tell you after. But it was at Dixie's first. Remember her album release party at Nightingale?
Yep.
I was doing red carpet photography for that, and I was doing, pictures of people, and everyone was being nice and taking pictures. And again, like this was, mind you, I was working for them for like 2 weeks at this point, so obviously I'm still there shitting bricks because I'm just like I went from working with 2 frat bros, Josh and Bryce, to like red carpet photography with like a lot of these people, and it was super cool. And again, I was asking everybody, I was like, hey, do you want your picture taken? Everybody was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. And then they went on. I don't know if it was I think it was Tiffany Haddish. And no, it wasn't her, but she was really nice where I was like, do you want your picture taken? She's like, no, I'm cool, and kept walking. I was like, great, that's fine. There was one individual who I took a picture of the person she was with, and like fine, like went good. And she looks at me, she's like, I don't want my picture taken. And I was like, okay. I didn't even ask her at first. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever, like great. And then she like takes a couple steps and looks back, and she's like, I said I don't want my picture taken, and didn't take a picture. And I was like, okay, like good for you, like fuck you. And I was so new. And again, like not to make it sound like but like being from New York, I had it 100% in my head to just be like, suck my dick, like what the fuck, like what. And again, we're working and being professional and stuff, so I just had to be like, oh yeah, no, of course, like you're so right, like great. I don't know if I feel like maybe you'll be like, oh yeah, once I tell you, but it was just very off-putting, and I have ever since been like, yeah, I don't like you. And probably one of the funnier ones was actually we worked the door at Lil Nas X's birthday party, either beginning of this year or end of last year. Lil Nas, I'm sorry that I don't remember exactly when your birthday was, but whenever it was, we worked his birthday party, which was fucking sick. He had like a dick cake. It was awesome. Like just a cake that was in the shape of a dick. It was fucking awesome. His party was sick. And Emma and Jamie can both verify this. I'm not just saying it. I got hit on 3 separate times by Camila Cabello, and I was over the moon. Like, she winked at me. She was looking at me a while, and like she stayed around me for like a tad bit. Camila, if you're seeing this, like I do love you. And
well, now what? You ain't say that when I said. Now what if Emma see that clip?
Nah, Emma 100% knows that would never happen, and so does Camila. But just like I thought it was flattered. Emma knows she's the love of my life, so thank you very much. But the fact that like I went home after that.
Don't let him lie to you, bitch.
Oh, bro.
He told me the same thing when I met him.
I love you so much, babe. And when that happened, I was like, because again, this was probably the biggest event I was at work, because like we were working the door and they had like fucking so many people that I was like just signing their shit and like getting in the party. I was like sitting there like, and it was just crazy that she went to me and I got to like Lil Nas gave me a hug, which was awesome because I just and it's funny and I guess that's just who I am. Where we went to go because it was after everybody was done signing, we were just still there, and like the person who hired us to come there was just like, "Oh, you guys go get food, like chill, whatever." So we're going and walking through the party, get up to the front door of this house, and lo and behold, Lil Nas X like starts walking out. And don't get me wrong, he's a huge star, big like obviously it's fucking Lil Nas X, but I just looked at him and I didn't think twice about it. I was like, yo, where's the dick cake at? And he's like, yo, bro, it's right over there. Like, awesome. And gave me a hug. And Jamie was looking at me. She's like, you just talked to him. I'm like, well, how'd that happen? I'm like, what do you mean? Because like a lot of people are like, might be nervous in those moments. I was like, I just wanted a piece of dick cake. I was like, it's kind of fire. Like I can go home and be like, yo.
I got a piece of dick.
Yeah. Like, yo, like Lil Nas X had this dick cake. And it was, I'm not going to lie, it was not really the best cake. It was kind of dry. Like, no offense. Like, rest of the party, rest of the food was amazing. He didn't
make the damn cake, so he wouldn't care.
That's very true. The cake,
he probably agree on that dry as dick cake.
Yeah, the dick cake was dry. It wasn't. The presentation was amazing, but the taste.
It was a pretty dick cake, but it didn't taste good.
Pretty dick cake didn't taste great. He had fucking.
They better drink their pineapple juice.
And he's from Georgia too, so that's why I don't know if he's from Atlanta or from like around there, but whoever the fuck he catered was. Like, they had just barbecue, mac and cheese. Like, it was bussin'. It was, the rest of the food was so amazing. So, good time. Shout out Camila Cabello. But that brings me into a fun question that, actually, have you met Brett, Caitlin's husband?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because they were just over earlier today, and this was before I wasn't sure if we were going to do the podcast. So, I was like, yeah, like, I think I'm going to do a podcast with Markel, and I was going over a question. And, again, not that I'm not expecting you to say anything other than just maybe like a little bit. How many people in this influencer space / celebrity space that you've met who people may know are in the closet but would never come out in terms of stuff that you know, DMs that you've gotten, like, and again, we're not going into specifics, but it's just like a funny thing where, because there's certain people I look at and I'm like, oh yeah, not you, which is great. Shout out for you. But just like, oh, yeah, you swinging that way. Like, which is great. Love it. We accept all. But I just feel like there's so many.
Funny enough, I feel like...
Yep. That's my answer. Funny enough. Well, I don't know. Yeah.
No, it's like, we got a like handful that I talk to or like Snapchat or ZM and stuff like that. But... it's just Kiki's, like a little funny, like,
yeah.
Show me, here you go, you know.
One of those, like, oh, if Markel was really serious about it, then I guess sure. But, like, we're just, which but.
And guess what? Curiosity is what killed the cat. Meow.
Yep. So none of them are, like, so they're kind of like the Snap version of Las Vegas, dude. Yeah, I just had to pull that card real quick. Oh! We were at dinner in Las Vegas, let me tell you. And we're chilling and whatnot. Markel goes, yeah, I'm linking up with this dude, whatever. Like, and we're like, awesome. Like, we fucking love that. And he just like shows us his phone. And I was like, oh, holy shit. Someone's packing. Crazy.
He was left speechless.
Speechless, bro was packing. And I was like, all right, Markel, like, that's how you get down. Awesome. But no, because there's certain influencers / just people in this space, which, again, shout out to you. But I definitely am just like, there's a chance.
It's LA. Everybody has a chance.
That's very true. But with them, I'm just like, you have a heavy, like, you're basically screaming at us and you're not. Because like certain people like Billie Eilish just, do you see that she officially like came out kind of? But because it was at whatever variety show was last night or the night before.
Yeah. And
the interviewer was asking her just like, oh, like on this latest song that, whatever was her latest song, she had like a bar and people were piecing it together that like in the song, like she was talking about like that she likes girls. And the interviewer was just like, oh, like that happened. And Billie was like, but Billie was just like, oh, like I figured people already knew. I mean, honestly, like if without that interview, if you came up to me and told me Billie Eilish was bi, I'd be like, yeah. Like she just has that aura and I'm just like, fuck yeah, like go off. But so I feel like that's, to me, in the influencer world, there's a lot of that. Where I'm just 100%. Like, oh, if you told me you were bi, like, still love you. Shout out to you. But, and again, everyone, you do, like, you come out at your own time. You're comfortable. You never have to do anything. But certain people, I'm like, oh, yeah, no, you're bi. 100%.
Yeah.
So, no, I think I'm trying to look at other fun notes that I have
come up to ask.
where, ooh, this is funny because this is always a big debate that I see from inside the world and out of the world. Because I see both sides. Do you see being an influencer as hard work?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Literally trying to come up with creative processes, creating videos. I literally have to film 2 brand deals after we done. And you have deadlines and stuff like that. Now, mind you, is it the hardest job in the world? Hell no.
Yeah.
You just got to be consistent, assertive, and, know your worth and all of that stuff. And I am so blessed to do what I love and have such a good team around me to help me get these brand deals. And
Shout out Julie.
Hello, Julie, Andre, everybody else at WME. Love you guys. But yeah, it's like, it's actually really hard sometimes. And I don't want to sound like no fucking broken record or no shit like that, because I'm going to make it happen and do what I do. I will never make an excuse and will never take no for an answer. I'm going to make it happen. But it's more so like a mental battle than a physical one.
That is what I'll 100% agree on. Because, again, I'm on that side where, don't get me wrong, like, I feel like a lot of people look at it like, well, you're not laying brick and you're not building and you're not, but it's still like you do have to do, don't get me wrong, I've met a fair share of influencers that don't do shit and they literally have everybody else doing their things for them. But in a lot of other people's spaces, like you said, you have to come up with the creative, you have to be on camera all the time, you have to, everything goes to shit all the time, and you just have to like be able to segue into like, okay, doing that. But I think the biggest one is like mental, for sure, where even if it's not like nervousness of being on camera, it's just like, bro, like it weighs heavy. Like, you do not have an off time, because if you have an off time, if you're not on, you're not making money.
Yeah, it's a very tough little mental battle, and you never decide. Your body just wants to, it earns and wants, I don't know about everybody else, but me, I'm like, where's my next bag coming from? I want to continue. I want to create generational wealth. I want to take care of my family and other families, and wherever I can, sow a seed to make other people's dreams come true. That's what I want to do. So I don't just do it for me. I do it for everybody around me. I'm like, bitch, if I'm winning, y'all are winning.
That part. Now, with you, because like obviously everyone has their thing, and like you obviously you're a very vibrant, happy, like energetic person, but everyone has bad days and like goes through. Do you have something that you do, whether it's got like that, if God forbid shit's hitting the fan, or you're literally at that point of like, holy fuck, like I'm about to blow, that you do so, like whether it's, for some people it's go on a hike, for some people it's just like fucking meditate, whatever it may be. Do you have something that you do to like, if you've ever gotten in that mode where you're just like, I need to pause.
I'll travel.
Fire.
I'll go home and reboot.
Yeah.
And because I don't have a car back at home.
So you kind of just have to chill.
I brought 4 cars. I walk.
Yeah.
It makes me get back grounded. It shows me where I came from and like how I got to where I am. And it's such a humble experience. I try to take my time and I get everything done that I need to before I leave. Mm-hmm. And then Julie knows when I'm there. Like, I rarely ever do brand deals and stuff like that, because that's my time to relax, reset, like do all the normal shit that I was doing, and like go back to see my loved ones, visit my cheer gym, keep them encouraged and all of that stuff. And I feel like that's so, and like not to sound like a crybaby, but like even like from the behind the scenes, like there's so many times where me and Emma just like hit a point where we're like, wow, we literally need to like do something. And luckily, like going home is one, but again, like the work's still fine. Like there's never an off button with that shit. Right.
We always go to Denver on Thanksgiving, and that's because I know it's gonna sound so corny, but I've said it before. Like I'm just a big like nature person. Whether it's a fucking hike, I don't give a shit. Put me around trees, put me up on a mountain, whatever it may be. Like if I'm there, because that's what I always did at home. Where it's like, 'cause I'm from upstate New York, not the city, so it's like we'd go on a walk in the all this had to do with smoking weed, but just like we'd go on a walk in the woods, we'd go drive up to the top of a mountain and just chill and look over a cliff, like whatever it may be, like if shit was like that. So I always wanted, because like again, like in this world, you have to be on, and by on, it's like happy-go-lucky, everything's good, we're having a good day. And given that's changed a lot, which is great that people have changed more to like showing that side of like, I struggle, this is what I do to cope with that, this and that. But I always like, because I feel like it helps a ton of other people, because I'm a big person. If I'm going through something and like someone I look up to is never going through something and they're like push through it, blah blah blah, then that makes me feel like fuck, like I gotta push through. Which again, there are times where you have to push through 100%. But like someone that I look up to, if they're sitting there and like they do a video or an interview or whatever, when they're like, no, like there are times where I have to like blah blah blah, that makes someone like me being like, oh shit, okay, I like that.
Yeah. And
to that, who is someone that like say back in Georgia or even now, who are people that like you look up to and you're like, fuck. Like I don't want to sit here and be like idol, but just like people who you're just like, yeah, like that's my cup of tea. Like you're someone who I want to emulate or like that type of shit.
My mom, first off.
I love that.
She literally is a go-getter. She done tried to make she done established herself and made like freaking 5 businesses. Damn. She wrote her own book, got signed by a publishing company, and got it out there and stuff like that. I think it's the Diary of a Street Princess.
Diary of a Street Princess. That's such a fire name for a book.
Because she was a single mom of 4 by the age of 20.
That's great. Yeah.
Had 4 kids by 20, and she lived in the streets. Like, she had to get it how she
lives.
Yeah, get 100%. It how she lives. And yeah, Diary of a Street Princess. I remember when she did that, and then like just being incarcerated for 4 years, and then being away from your kids that long, and then still being able to keep your mental state sane and like coming out with her head on her shoulders, not trying to go run the streets and stuff like that is just so inspiring to see. So I'm like, the love that she shows and it just emulates from her body, I'm just like, that's what I want to be, able to just kind of live who I am, live how I am, and always speak like nothing but facts. And she is a comedian out of this world, always saying something funny.
I love that because everyone who's at least whoever has watched my like knows that I'm a huge mama's boy. Like my mom is the number one for me, always has been. And like that's what I got from her, where it definitely annoys some people, sometimes Emma, sometimes friends, whatever, where like my mom was the biggest person. It does not matter if like every possible thing in the world went to shit. She was finding the 1% that was good and being like, guys, but we still have this. And I get it. I understand how sometimes people can be like, all right, Mr. Positivity, like fuck. Right. I get that. But I took that from her, where it's just like when in our own life, like when shit's hitting the fan, when stuff's bad, I'm just like, but look at where we at, look what we doing, like all that type of shit. Because I feel like that's so important, because if you just like get caught up on that shit, you are just gonna get dragged the fuck down. So shout out moms out there, love you, mom. Just saying that real quick. But no, for you, what could you see as a nice little ender? You've done so much already, and I'll say I know you started in 2019, but I'll say 3 years, like when it popped off. You've done so much in 3 years. What, and this is going to sound like such a fucking interview question, where do you see yourself at? Like, what would you like to get in, let's say, like the next 5 years? This is a manifestation ending right here.
Right. I want to be an established actor or host, hosting some type of show.
Okay.
Kind of like in a sense of America's Got Talent, somewhere in that realm, or like,
hell yeah,
like some type of dance show, because I love hyping people up and seeing people energetic and just being able to move their body in ways that a lot of % of the people cannot do. And just acting in a couple more movies. Okay. And
like, I see that.
And I want to build 2 houses, Baba.
But here and back home, or just back home?
Well, I want to build a house back home for sure, but I don't know. My little frugal ass won't. I'll buy a home here.
Boom. Yeah. Because building it is a whole different. Back home's different. Shit can get cheaper.
Exactly.
You can get a nice house for cheap.
Lumber is way cheaper down there.
Yup, and just labor in general. It's like, oh, you're gonna build a $400K, some shit like that. Really nice house here. It's just like, oh, it's gonna get you a tin can over there. It's like, nice. I'm like, ugh. So I see that shit for you in the next years. I can't wait to see where the fuck that takes you, because again, in the last 3 years, it's just like seeing where you started to now is crazy. And I'm glad I'm able to see the journey from a close. So I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I had fun.
Well, I love that. And honestly, there's gonna be more, and I love it. But
I will come back on another episode in due time.
He's gonna be another reoccurring guest for us, and I can't wait. But as we always say, thanks for watching the Mackin Show. It's gonna be more fun. But until next time,
peace. Love you guys. Bye.
Yeah.